the Emo Hour. Your weekly power hour of all things emo and adjacent. With your hosts, Katie and Nani.
Hello and welcome to the Emo Hour. It's your host, Katie and Nani. Hi, Katie.
Hi, Nani. We're back.
We're back. We're back and we're here. But we're back for a very special reason. I'm sure a couple people have noticed that we've taken a little tiny hiatus. We're changing gears for season 2, but we could not recognize this week.
That's true. And I feel like you just led into what's making you emo this week, Nani.
Well, kind of. But I wanted to ask you first, what was making you emo?
Well, you're just a tease, huh?
Just a tease.
Just a tease.
If only the men would see me that way, then maybe I'd be more successful.
Maybe they do. How do you know?
We don't know.
Yeah, maybe they
DM
do
me on
see.
Instagram.
Yeah, please do. Let's see what we got out there. If
Right?
you love emo music and you love Sun Valley, there's two things right there. Two things that are easy to love. No, so okay, I'll go first. Mine is, I already told you about this, but someone went through my car last week.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's
I
right.
hesitate to say someone broke into my car because my car was unlocked. So someone went through it. And that's on me, somewhat for not locking my car. But we do live in a safe environment. It's a thing that a lot of people in most of the state of Idaho tend to not do is, lock their cars or even lock their houses. So it was last week on like Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, sometime it happened. Wednesday morning, I opened the door and my center console was open and a couple of things were like on my passenger seat. And I was parked on the street under a street light close to the police station. So I'm like, this is a bold move. Like, I'm right under a street light. This happened sometime in the middle of the night. I don't know when, but the police are couple blocks away, like bold move.
They're very close.
Yeah. And I was like, what's missing? I started to like think about what I had on my center console. One thing that was on my passenger seat was like a leather wallet. Luckily, there was nothing in it, though. It was just like a leather wallet that I have that is in there. But that was completely empty. I'm sure that they opened that looking for cash and didn't find anything there. The only thing that I'm sure is missing is a bag of Reese's pretzels that I had bought on a recent road trip as like, those look like an interesting snack. Let's try it out. And that's the only thing that I'm sure of that is missing.
So I'm questioning. Okay, funny, not funny. Funny because I'm also trying to figure out what Reese's pretzels are. Are they like peanut butter coated pretzels?
Yeah, with like chocolate drizzle, I guess.
Okay.
They really weren't that good. And that's the other funny part is like I bought them, I had a few, and I put it back in my center console. And I was kind of like, I don't even know if I want to finish these ever because they're not that great.
I wonder if I assume that they're kids. I don't know if they actually are kids. They're probably just like a couple teenagers like out, I don't know, being idiots. But like, I wonder if they were high or something because they probably saw the pretzels and they're like, oh yeah, peanut butter pretzels.
Well, then the second part of this story is a couple days later, I guess, I noticed on Facebook that the Blaine County Sheriff had posted about a vehicle burglary near the movie theater, which is also a couple blocks away from where I live. And that happened.
You sent this. You texted us this. I totally forgot about it.
So the Blaine County Sheriff's Office posted like a couple still images from somebody's like doorbell camera or like security footage maybe from the movie theater. I don't know. It's just two kids. Well, again, kids, teens, early 20s, I don't know, on bikes, wearing, you can like see what they're wearing, but you can't see their faces. They're pretty like tough images. But I saw that and it was a vehicle burglary that happened again, a couple blocks away from me. Mm-hmm. And happened the same night that somebody went through my car and they were asking for like tips or information. So I was like, I have to call, like even though it was a bag of snacks, like that's relevant information. So I called and I talked to an officer and 2 officers met me at my place and I just like showed them where my car was parked, like, what the situation was. I was like, none of this is super relevant, but that they were kind of on a crime spree. And I found out that the vehicle burglary that they're tracking down were 2 firearms were stolen from a car. And so they're looking for the firearms, which one of the officers told me that they've recovered one of the firearms because it was a hunting rifle, and these people, kids, whatever, were on bikes, and the hunting rifle was something that they couldn't transport easily. So they stashed it somewhere, and the cops found that one. But there's another firearm that they're searching for. And so we like talked to a couple neighbors while they were there. I like showed them around my place. They asked if we had cameras on the street where my car was parked, and I said no. I was like, there's been some thefts happening in our parking lot too, and we've got condos across the parking lot. So they went and knocked on some doors, and I was still there walking my dog. And one of the neighbors across the parking lot said that the same night somebody went in their car, they had their wallet in there, but nothing of value. So their wallet was taken out of the car and left on the like hood of the car. So they didn't take the wallet, but there was also nothing of value. But these people were just
Going
crime
one
of
by one.
opportunity.
Oh my
And
God.
yeah, so I was talking with the cops for a while, and they even told me that they think they have a pretty good idea of who it is, and it's somebody that they've had trouble with before with vehicle burglaries like throughout our valley, and they think that they're up here now doing the same. So making me emo because it was just weird to see like vehicle burglary the same night that somebody went through my car, but you know, I didn't have any guns in my car. I just had some snacks. And it makes you wonder, did they do that before or after they stole the guns? You know,
They probably were hungry. You know, by the time they got around to your car,
yeah.
they saw the snacks. I laugh about it, but that's actually like really scary. And I'm sorry that happened to you. And just because you left your car open doesn't mean that that it's rightful for somebody to go into it and
No.
rifle through your stuff.
Definitely
So,
not rightful.
Yeah, it's interesting because you and I live very close to each other, a few blocks away from each other. And the one thing that I religiously do is lock my car. And I don't know why. I think it's just like muscle memory from,
Yeah.
and I always lock it. And, you know, we do live in a small town where a lot of things aren't regularly locked, just because it is a very honest and safe place that we live in. But yeah, that's, I don't like that. That makes me feel a little bit more uneasy.
Yeah, it's bizarre to think about, you know, and again, did they steal the guns before they came to mine, or did they do that after? And then obviously I live there and it was the middle of the night, and you're like, are these guys, you know, high? And I think they're guys. It looked like they were guys. But yeah, were they on drugs? Were they drunk? Like, what kind of state of mind were they in? You know, like there's so many other things that could have happened, you know? So just be aware, stay alert, stay alive, like my husband likes to say.
Stay alert. Yeah, that sounds like a Subway slogan. Wait, if you see something, say something.
Oh, there you go.
That's like the New York. I think it's like the New York subway thing that's been adopted kind of everywhere.
Yeah,
But,
definitely like airports and stuff.
Well, I'm glad that nothing of real substance or real value was taken from your car. I'm sorry that happened, and I hope that they get, you know, catch these kids. We're assuming that they're kids, and that they're properly punished. I don't know. They're properly like taken through the right things for doing the wrong thing.
I mean, punished is fair, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so that was my story. And like, I'm not that bothered by it, but it certainly makes you think, you know, and I have been locking my car since then. So maybe it'll become muscle memory for me.
Yeah. Do you have a clicker, or I can't, because you have an older
Yeah.
car, but it's not that old.
Yeah, I do have a clicker. I
Yeah.
just don't. I grew up not, and I still don't, you know. Like that's just kind of how it's always been.
Yeah.
But it's not the greatest decision. You should lock your stuff.
Yeah, but no, like it's also like it's your own property. Nobody should be going through there except for me,
Yeah.
obviously. Like, what if I needed those Reese's pretzels?
Well, like I said, they weren't that great, so you could have them. I would happily give them to you. But yeah, I
No.
mean, that's the other thing. I don't don't keep valuables in my car. Like I don't leave my purse in there. I don't leave my laptop in there. So, I leave it unlocked a lot of the time, but I don't leave valuables in there. So that's kind of my justification.
You know what? You just reminded me of something. I have a couple family members, one in particular that I'm thinking about, and I think this is actually more common than I'm realizing now that you just said this, is they drive a very fancy car and they leave the keys in the car, they leave it unlocked, but there's nothing of value in there ever. And their thought, their frame of mind is like, if somebody's going to take this, they're going to get in a whole lot of trouble, essentially. So like, don't, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
a very similar sentiment of, there's nothing really valuable in there except for the car itself.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, it doesn't make it right, but it is opening a car door and seeing what's in there is an easy thing for somebody to do. And if it's locked, that'll stop them from doing that. But that's my story. Now to get back to a more exciting thing and more positive thing is, Nani, what's making you emo this week? And why do we have to, commemorate this week?
I know. Well, so I did kind of give a little bit of a sneak peek, if you will. And you and I did talk about this prior, so you knew what was going to make me emo. I had no idea that that's what was going to make you emo, and that was way more in depth than I even realized, because I know that there was a text that went around, but we have so many text chains going on that I lose track of stuff, and it's been a busy few weeks. But we had to come back on air because this is the 1-year anniversary of our first episode of the Emo Hour podcast.
Yes, it is.
That was a mouthful. Oh my God. So we could not miss this week and commemorate this 1-year anniversary because it's a really big deal. We've talked about the fact that this is our 51st episode. Is that right?
It is, yeah. And if I can interrupt, like what I think is a pretty significant thing that we didn't even address is our last episode a few weeks ago that came out on your birthday was episode number 50. So we did 50 episodes without taking a break for any weeks. And the 50th came out on your birthday. And like, we didn't even touch on that because I don't even think we realized when we were recording that that was the situation. But that is pretty crazy in a lot of ways, like crazy positive and crazy, which I've expressed to you. I think it's crazy.
Yeah. However you take the word crazy, take it. Because it was, no, I agree with you. And like, if you think about all the logistics and the different things that happened in between, like just life and like what you had going on, what I had going on, like that's a lot of episodes and a lot of life to talk about over the course of that much time. So there's holidays in between, all sorts of things. So it's obviously what's making me emo, because I'm very proud of the two of us, and I'm very proud of, like, I would say, like, very humble beginnings, right? Not to say that like we're this huge podcast, but we are number 4 in Poland.
Music commentary.
Yeah, sorry. We are the number 4 music commentary podcast in Poland. And we've recently found ourselves being written up in different on different podcast sites that, like, if you want to listen to emo music, this is one of the top ones that you should listen to. So I don't know that that's like where I can't give us like a ranking on those lists, but I feel very honored to be included in those lists.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And but like, this all started like a year and a half ago. And maybe it makes sense to just give a little bit of context here about like us as well. But like, this all started a year and a half ago when a friend of ours encouraged us to start a radio show called the Emo Hour on a station here where we live, 88.5 KDPI. And
where locals get vocal.
Where locals get vocal. And we started this podcast. We started the radio show playing music and having so much fun and doing that, and people would tune in from all over the country, frankly. And we just were having so much fun that we were like, wait, it's hard for people to carve out this time in their day. It's a very specific hour. It's only live. You can't listen to it any other time. And so we're like, why don't we create something where our friends and family and whoever else can tune in and listen to it at their leisure?
Yeah.
And
we
so,
can talk more.
And most importantly, we can talk as much as we want. Which I guess we were doing on the radio show anyways. but we were more music centric on the radio show. And please chime in on any of this stuff, but that's essentially how the Emo Hour podcast started.
Yeah, so we did the radio show for like 6 months before diving in to the podcast, which, like you said, we released our first episode a year ago this week.
Crazy.
So we did 50 episodes, 50 weeks in a row, no skipping at all, even though there were holidays. You were in so many different time zones. I can't even remember. And, I, for the most part, was just living my normal chaotic, busy life. And you were living a also chaotic, busy life, but add some traveling and time zones into it too.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll also say that, like, I don't know, I'm very proud of us for the consistency of all of it. So yeah, I think it's really awesome what we've accomplished, and to be recognized as number 4 music commentary podcast in Poland truly is an honor. I don't know how you feel, but it's an honor. To all the Poles, thank you.
All the Poles. Do you think that's what they call themselves?
I think so. I feel like it is.
Polish people?
Yeah, to all the Polish folk out there, thank you for your loyal listenership.
Yeah.
But in honor of this podcast episode, I did talk to our favorite best friend, ChatGPT.
Yeah,
and
I don't like that characterization.
I know, right? But to our buddy, Mr. GPT, which I don't know if it's a woman or a man, it's probably just a them.
Them.
Yep. I did have some questions kind of queued up. I wanted to figure out some questions that we could ask each other. And so if it's okay with you, I want to ask you a couple of these questions. You haven't really seen them. So I feel like we are having a bit of a Saturday Night Live where, like, Michael Che and, oh my God, what's his name?
Colin Jost.
Thank you.
Scarlett Johansson's husband.
Exactly. Where they, like, make each other read jokes that neither of them know, like, what's been written. But this is more just questions. And I think that it's going to be a cool, reflective way to talk about the last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, let's try. I will do my best, and we'll have to turn some questions around for you as well.
Yeah, totally. So, okay, this one's easy. What was your favorite Emo Hour episode in the last year?
Oh, is it easy? The first one that popped up, and one that I've recommended to multiple people when we've been, like, we or I have been talking to, strangers usually about the podcast, is our Haley Williams episode.
Interesting.
I just think we got into it, and I think that was one that we were frankly, like, more prepared for. We had spent a little more time listening to those 17 singles at the time that she had put out in kind of a weird way. And I just thought that was kind of the most thoughtful one that we've done. So that's certainly one. And her music also is really thoughtful. And I like talking about the music. And it's fun to play little snippets of the songs and then kind of talk about it and see each other's thoughts on it. So that's the first one that comes to my mind. I think I know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
But I guess, and favorite is a hard word for me in general. Favorite could mean a lot of different things. And there's been some cool stuff that we've done, but that one is more recent, and I think it's one of our better ones for emo fans in particular.
Yeah, I think that's so fair. I love that answer, and that's so true because we did incorporate more music, more snippets of music throughout that episode. So, which, not gets us, but it is a little bit more similar to maybe what we were doing on the radio show too.
Yeah.
Like having that extra friend in the room that is the actual music itself is kind of awesome.
Right. What about you? What's been your favorite episode? Which I said, I think I know what you'll say. And I wonder what you think. Actually, like, are you surprised by my answer?
After you talking about it, no. When you first said it, I was like, oh, interesting. I wasn't expecting that, but I don't know what I was expecting.
Okay. You didn't have one in your mind that you thought I would say.
No, there wasn't like a obvious winner. I think I assume that maybe you might have chosen the same one that I'm about to say, but it's mostly because you and I have actually talked about this episode quite a bit. But for me, it was the Father's Day episode
Yeah,
that we
that's what I would
filmed.
have guessed.
And for multiple reasons. One, because it ended up being such a gift that I didn't realize was going to be a gift for us.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
the time spent with both of the people who created us, right? Like separately, obviously. They didn't create us together.
No, that's not science. Doesn't allow for that.
That science does not 1 + 1 does not equal 2 in that scenario. But but it was hilarious. Having that like unfiltered dedicated time with my dad and with your dad and the things that came up and the canals that we navigated through on some of those stories were just like so unexpected and wild. And I look back and it's a very fond amount of time that we spent on that episode. Like that was a gift. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I fully agree. I mean, that one was very personal for both of us. Very fun to be a part of, like as the third party, you know, while we were interviewing your dad, and I'm sure vice versa when we were interviewing my dad. So that one certainly has a more personal touch and was like, we probably giggled and laughed more during that than most of them, even though we do giggle and laugh a lot.
Yeah.
So I totally get it.
I think I might have said this maybe on an episode after that or a couple episodes after. It's like we sometimes take for granted the time that we get to have with the people that we love in our life, whether it's a parent, a friend, a sibling, whatever. And having that time dedicated to doing that with our parents was like pretty dang special because, you know, we've talked about the fact like my mom's not alive anymore. You were able to have a conversation with your mom and
For Mother's Day. Yeah.
for Mother's Day. Yeah. But like doing it with our dads was just like I 10 out of 10 recommend people, even if you don't have a podcast, right? Like there's books
Yeah.
out there or there's like have story time with your parents or do something or with a sibling or whatever that figure is in your life. I would recommend it after.
Yeah, totally. I mean, we live in a time where it's very easy to record a conversation or a video, and it is a gift for down the road. So I just ditto to what you said. I agree. Like, take advantage of that opportunity.
Okay, so this next one is a question that I'm going to ask, but I'm going to answer it first for you. So it says, what's one thing people would be surprised to know about me after a year of episodes? So what I'm going to say is, I'm going to say the one thing that the audience would be surprised to hear about you, right?
Okay.
Like I'm reading this as if you're asking the question to me. The reason I'm doing that is because I want to give you a little bit of time to think about that.
For
me,
you.
for me,
Okay.
yeah.
Gotcha.
And so the way that I would answer this question, like, what's one thing that the listeners would be surprised to know about Katie after this last year of episodes? Is, and I forget this myself sometimes, and I even get a little bit emotional talking about it from time to time.
No, I'm
But
scared.
no, you shouldn't be at all, but I'm going to start crying because I don't know why I'm going to start crying about it. I think it's probably because I'm so proud of you, but
Oh,
she is such a rock solid human being. Why am I crying? And you would never know the amount of things that she's juggling in a year. She's got a child, she's got a family, and she's a professional, like, badass woman. And you juggle it so gracefully. And it's just like the most beautiful thing to see. And so I'm
my
sorry that I'm
God.
crying right now.
Stop.
like-
You're making me cry.
I can't cry too much because you know what happens is my deviated septum starts vibrating, and it just happened right now. Ugh. But
That's not the kind of vibrations we want.
no, it's not. But I just you hold everything so well. And maybe, you know, from the outside looking in, you hold it so well. And I know that sometimes we're a duck and we look calm above the water, and underneath it's like our little feet are paddling, and we, you know, that metaphor of like
I've never heard that.
It's a chaos underwater, but above water, boy, do we look majestic.
Oh, I've never heard that comparison before.
You're probably not going to forget it now because it's a really good one that
Yeah.
I use frequently just because I feel that way for a lot of things in my life. But I just I don't think anybody, they hear us, what's making you emo? They might hear that you say tired, but they don't have full context of like, there's a reason why you might be tired in a given week. It's because you are doing all of these things and being someone to so many people, whether it's a client or a daughter or a friend or a husband, or it's so many things. And mom, obviously. So yeah, I think that that's one thing that the listeners would have no idea about is the weight that you carry and the joy that you bring to your life in all these different ways.
Well, that is extremely nice of you to say, and thank you very much. I mean, I've definitely talked about my daughter and my job a little bit. I just tend to not talk about my job a whole lot, like in my personal life, unless I'm venting about things. But that is very nice of you to say. I don't know why you got teary-eyed, but it made me teary-eyed too.
It's just 'cause-
Um,
I think it's because I love you and I'm just proud of you. And there's a lot that you do. And I think that people, I don't know, like we see a version of someone and we just kind of make assumptions sometimes. And I myself, like I'm close to you on a day-to-day basis, right? Whether I'm physically actually close or time zones away, but I forget sometimes that like you have so many other things going on in your life because you carry it so well.
well, that's very nice. We all do, right? Everybody's got a bunch of different obligations and everybody has different capacities for what they can handle and when they can handle it. And I've expressed to you that that's why I've kind of needed to take a break from the podcast because it's just been a bit much for me. And we will continue to take a break and kind of discuss where we're going from here. And I take full responsibility for that. But that is very nice. I'm also not the only one that, is a lawyer and has a child. And so, I'm not alone in that experience, but
Mhm.
it's a lot. So thank you for that. And that's very nice. I didn't expect you to tear up.
Nope, I say the truth. I'm an emotional gal. What can you say? Oh, also in my pros list, DM me.
DM at the Emo Hour on Instagram. We'll send you over to Nani if
Yeah.
that's what you're looking for.
This is the emo hour. Come on, emotions
This-
are good here.
Emotions are good here. Well, I
always
didn't
good.
have much time to think about that answer for you, other than to say sort of the same in a different way. Because you juggle. I mean, my world is small, and that's something that I've expressed a lot, and it's even smaller after having a child. That's where my focus is, on my small world. It's my career, it's my husband, it's my daughter, it's like personal responsibilities, and then like a pretty small group of friends, I would say. And like I very much appreciate my smaller group of friends. So with like on the flip side though, the amount of stuff that you juggle and relationships that you juggle is like mind blowing to me. And people definitely have heard about all the traveling that you've done because we've talked about that, and that's been pretty amazing. And traveling alone is exhausting, and I don't have the same sort of desire to travel that you do or like itch. I mean, I do, like I want to travel, but you'll go from one trip to the next and you'll be home for a day and you're like, okay, I'm ready to leave again. I'm like, what the hell? No, that's not me at all. But that's not exactly what I was going to say. The amount of relationships that you juggle, and I would call them mostly like friendships, I would say. And the amount that you put out to your friends, and you have a much larger circle. That's where I was going. Like, I feel like I have a pretty small circle. Your circle is huge. And like the amount of stuff that you do and just that you're prepared to do and provide support for your massive circle of friends is impressive. And I give you shit for it. And sometimes I don't think it's taken the best, and that's fair. But you're just like all over the place all the time, doing stuff for all these people. And it's not only people, it's organizations, it's whatever. But like I don't know what's going on in your head all the time, because you've got all these different things. And we were talking offline right before we started that you've got a bunch of things on your to-do list. And I imagine that a lot of those things are probably things that you're like offering to do for your huge group of friends, that you don't have to do that for them, but you do, because you love your friends and you're there for them and you support them and you want to do whatever you can to like help other people succeed and build the connections among other people, which is something that I just learned in my lawyer class that I started taking for leadership, is like just creating that connection for people. You don't know what can come out of that. Like, it can be a lot. Just like make the introduction. And I'm not very good at that, because I'm like, I don't really care. I don't have the time for this. And you're the opposite. Like, you're willing to make those connections, keep those connections, when for me, I kind of block out those smaller connections in my world, at least right now. I hope that made sense.
No, that totally made sense to me completely. And that's very kind of you to say. I think that that's one of my self-perceived superpowers is connection. I love connecting other people, and I love connecting with people myself. So that totally makes sense to me. That's cool though, because guess what I just learned is that you are taking a leadership for lawyers course.
Yeah, that's what I went to Boise for a couple weeks ago. So
that's part of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we met. That's what you met. That you were there. Now I'm remembering.
Yeah. To be fair, I was physically there, but I didn't know that that's what all of that was.
Yeah, it's a course that the Idaho State Bar offers that you have to, I had to apply to it and get accepted. And it's about leadership. And a lot of it is kind of fluff, and that's just my personal opinion on courses like that are like self-help or self-improvement courses. I just feel like a lot of it is fluff, but some of it kind of sticks in. And one of the things that stuck to me with the reading that we had to do for it was just like the power of those connections. Like, you get two of the right people talking, they can make some cool stuff happen. And I think that I agree. That is like one of your superpowers that I don't necessarily do myself, you know?
Well, I mean, it could be argued, not that we necessarily need to argue it, but like you get two of the right people in the right room. Hi. And something cool happens. Hi.
Yeah.
And then I'll just say one other thing about what you said about me, doing things for other people. I think my life has been gifted so many different opportunities and whatnot because of people who've done things for me. And so it only feels right to offer those same things. And so I'm happy to. I also think it's part of being an only child. It's like not having a sibling. It's like, yeah, I'm going to stand up for my friends, or, do something with a friend that maybe seems a little like, not outlandish, but like a little less common with friends that you might do with like a sister or whatever. So, yeah, I don't know. I love it. Like, I just love all of it. And the energy that I get from all of it is what it's like. I know it's maybe giving to other people, but at the end of the day, I think it feeds me the most, which is, I don't know, selfish, I guess.
No, I mean, I think it's fair to like recognize that as a positive, but I don't think that makes it selfish. I think for me, that would be like draining, right?
Yeah.
Especially at this stage in my life. Like, things are just draining.
Yeah.
I have intentionally like kept my circle pretty small, and I'm trying to focus on that. But even last night we were out, and somebody that we both know came in, and she's going to judge 5B Battle of the Bands this year because both of us are not able to, which that was one of our first episodes. Go back and listen to that one if you want to hear about, local musicians.
We should have Robin come on, or Sarah or somebody, and give us a recap of this year's Battle of the Bands.
Yeah.
Because I'm sad that we won't be able to do like a good recap for the for all the talent that's going to come and do that. But anyways, I digress.
I think that's our most downloaded episode too. But I just brought that up. Like, even last night she came up and, you knew that she was judging. I didn't know that that was like a finalized thing. I knew that we had talked about her being a judge. And then you're like, yeah, let's like grab lunch or grab a drink and talk about it. And like, you just offered that. And I'm like, I mean, I will, but I'm not going to offer that. Because I'm focusing on my circle. Like, that's what it is for me. Like, I'm focusing on my circle, and I'm kind of maxed out beyond that, especially like I was telling you, this month has been super busy for me.
Yeah, it has been a crazy month.
But that's a very noble thing for you to do, and like to put yourself out there as much as you do, and like for other people, you know.
Yeah.
It's very, very kind of you. And I don't think that that's been expressed. To take it back to the question, I don't think that that is something that has been that we've talked about, you know, like we've talked a lot about your travel, but we haven't talked about how much you are there for the people in your life. And it's a big circle of people.
I love my people.
You do.
I do. Okay, so this I'm not going to actually say it's not going to be a we, it's going to be a me. So which band do you think I talk about way too much?
Well, I think it should be a we, and like,
because I already know the answer for you. That's why I was like, what is it for me? Because I know what it is for you.
Well, okay, so say what it is for me.
Blink-182.
And for you, I'd say, at least for the last several months, it's Youngblood.
We love them. We love them. Yeah. I think I'm converting people into Youngblood fans one by one. Like, for instance, Jen, I've been sending her some of these Instagram videos of him, like interacting with the audiences and whatever, because he was on tour in the U.S. and then he's been on tour in like Europe, not the UK, but like Europe. And she's like, I'm liking him more and more every single time you send this to me. And I'm like, yes.
Good. I mean, yeah, I like him. I should spend more time listening to his music. But when I saw that question on your list, the first two bands I thought of were Blink-182 and Youngblood. Like, we have the ability to bring a lot of things back to either of those artists. Especially Youngblood for you in the past several months. Like, I wouldn't say that that's from day one, and Blink-182 has been from day one.
So. And that's a-okay. Like, I'm trying to think, like, what is my Blink-182? It's going to be something like so off base. It's going to be not off base, but like off genre. It's probably like my Blink-182 of like super fandom from young age to now is probably John Mayer.
Okay.
Which makes sense while my dad was like, yeah, emo music, like John Mayer.
Yeah. Super emo. Yeah, I was going to say like Bob Moses, but that's been more of a recent thing. I guess if you're talking about from young age to now.
Like high school to now. Like if you could think of one artist from high school to now that you still love and listen to on a regular basis. I mean, I don't listen to John Mayer nearly as much as I did when I was younger, but that's probably who it would be for me.
Yeah.
And Blink-182 would be it for you, right?
Yeah. I mean, I talked about a while ago that they were like the scrapbook page that I found from my like sophomore, junior year of high school. That's who I wrote was my favorite band. And today, still my favorite band.
Still your fave. I love that. I love that so much. Okay, this one might be hard because I don't know that you'll be able to come up with something. So if you don't, it's okay. But what's one thing that I've said on the podcast that lives rent-free in your head?
Yeah, and I feel like there's something specific that I am trying to remember, but I can't right now. Generally, my thought is there's been a couple times, both with the radio show and with the podcast, that you've said things with confidence that were just utterly wrong. So, like on the radio show, the example is talking about twins. We were talking about Good Charlotte, Benji and Joel. And what was it? You said like, we were talking about identical versus fraternal twins. And you were like, well, they're identical because they're both boys, right? Or they're both men.
I phrased it as a question to you because my understanding of it was more so that it's like, if you're identical, like if you are two twin boys, you have to be identical. I didn't know that you could be fraternal twin
Yeah,
boys. I
right.
thought that if it was two like humans of the same sex, if they were twins, they had to be identical. And we were
Right.
talking about Benji and Joel Madden, right? Of Good Charlotte. And I was like, well, yeah, they're identical. And you're like, well, they could be. I was like, no, they're identical, which they are identical,
They
but there
are.
is such thing as fraternal twins of the same sex,
Yeah. Which,
which,
like, my best friend Alicia has girl twins that are fraternal
yeah,
and are not identical.
yeah.
So that, I mean, that was on the radio show, but we've talked about it on the podcast before. I feel like there was another kind of similar example, but I can't tell you what it is
There's
right
nothing
now.
worse than having an understanding of something your entire life and being steadfast about it for obvious reasons because it's been the truth your entire life, only to be told that it's incorrect.
Yeah. I mean, I think
Like,
everybody has that experience in some ways. Like our parents also just lied to us about certain things that we
oh,
believed late into life, you know?
yeah. Yeah. Like, I don't know. What's an example? I don't know. Maybe like if your parents tell you that Nutella sucks. No, Nutella's delicious.
Well, I was thinking more of like it's actually I don't like Nutella, by the way, but
What?
I was thinking more of like it's illegal to drive at night with the dome light of your car on, you know, like things like
When you
that, or
told that?
it's illegal to drive barefoot. Like I feel like things like that were told to a lot of us, and like that's not true. But maybe if Jen's listening, maybe she could text us because I feel like there was a similar thing that you said on the podcast
Hmm.
that you were just like, yeah, this is how it is. And I just was like, no. And so it obviously doesn't live rent free in my head, but once I remember what it is, I'm gonna be really bummed that I didn't think about it right now. But that's the general sentiment is like there's been a
Love that.
couple instances where I've had the opportunity to educate you on some things.
And you know what I love is that you do. You're like, no, you're wrong, because I want to be told if I'm wrong.
Yeah. And some people, I guess, don't do that, but I'm a bold bitch. So
Yeah,
there you
you
go.
are. That's one of the reasons I love you.
Is there
Um,
something that I've said that lives rent free in your head?
no, it's a general sentiment. It's the fact that you're so much better at picking out emo lyrics of the day than me. That
Okay.
does live rent free in my head. I'm just like, how is it that like hit after hit after hit after hit, you always get them, and I still don't. I mean, we'll see what happens today, but chances of you winning are a whole lot higher than me. So
Well, and you're the one that judges. I
yeah,
do think
and
I have a good one today.
I mean, winning, right? Quote unquote winning. Like we're all winners here on the
We're
emo
all
hour.
winners.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. What artist would be your dream emo hour guest of all the things that you like, of all the people, like musician or non-musician, dead or alive?
Mark Hoppus from Blink-182.
Mark over Tom. Interesting.
Yeah, I relate to Mark more, I think. I think you relate to Tom more. That's something that I learned. I don't know if I said that when we did the book review of Mark's book, which actually is another like I think that I liked that episode too. The book review of Mark's book. I think those are more geared towards our the emo hour, right? But that's one thing that I kind of learned, and I don't know if I've expressed that to you either on the podcast or off the podcast, that I think Mark and I share quite a few personality traits, and I think you and Tom share more personality traits. Like,
Interesting.
if we were to be members of Blink-182, I'm Mark and you're Tom.
You know what? I'm thinking of I think I know exactly what you're referencing. It was something like Tom was out to dinner and he saw somebody that he was like, I want to talk to them. And so he just went up to them and pretty much was like, hey, this, we should do this together. Something like
Yeah.
that.
It was M. Night Shyamalan, I think, that Tom saw and was like, I want you to produce our next music video. I'm going to go chat.
Okay, crazy recall. And yes, I think that's probably exactly what I was referencing.
Yeah, but just generally, like, Mark in the book kind of describes Tom as more of like the dreamer, or like the one who's going to set these like goals. And I think that's more of you. And I am more pragmatic, and like I can work to make those things happen, but that's not necessarily like the vision that I would set. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's very much you and I.
Yeah. Yeah, for
So
sure.
yeah, that's my first reaction is I would really think it'd be interesting to have a conversation with Mark. Um, what about you? Is it Youngblood?
Well, I don't know. Like, is this self-serving or is it self-serving for the podcast? Is the way that I want to like. How do I answer this? Because I could answer it in two different ways.
Is it John Mayer?
No, no, we love John Mayer, and like John Mayer will be forever. But like, I'm good. Um, but with peace and love, right? Like, no, we're good. But I would say it's either Sam Fender or it's Youngblood.
Okay.
And it's yeah, and more recently medium build, if I'm being honest. But medium build, we could definitely interview him. But
I'm
I would
not
say,
familiar with medium build.
so good. I can't wait to share some music with you. But Youngblood, because he is on this rocket ship to the moon right now, and I think it would be really interesting to get to talk to him about his life and experience and everything that's been going on. And also, like, I would say out of all of those people that I just mentioned, he is just so blatantly like himself, unapologetically himself, and cares about the people around him, that I think that he would just be a really down to earth, honest, funny like guest to have on the pod. And plus, like, so creative, so just like all the things. I feel like he is kind of the definition of a modern rock star, and so it'd be really cool to talk to him.
Yeah, I think that would be cool.
So yeah, you weren't wrong. Um, how has doing this podcast change your relationship with music?
It has encouraged more discovery for me, like seeking more things out, and just I guess being more intentional with music because I think we get stuck in listening to like the same things that we know and love, and maybe like new music from the same artist that we know and love. But it's certainly brought about more discovery in terms of like me seeking out stuff myself. And also, you've introduced me to a lot of things that maybe I wasn't familiar with. So I think I have a short answer for that one. How about
I
you?
know. Well, and I'm going to say ditto to that because for me, it's, what, actually, I'm going to say it ditto with like a slightly different angle, and that is that it's reinvigorated my love for this style of music.
Fair, yeah.
Because it's always continued to exist. I think that there's like the music discovery that we're able to do right now is both new and old artists, right? Like new music of artists that we knew 20 years ago and 2 years ago. So, yeah, it's been really cool, and I definitely have noticed that my musical tastes have gone a little bit more alternative. Like they're always alternative, but they have EDM and pop and other things. I've noticed my lens just gear a little bit more towards alt rock now, more so than like the last like in the last year and a half has been more alt rock than like the last 10 years, I would say.
Yeah. With you or like with the music industry or both?
With me specifically, I also think the last year specifically, I think we're getting a lot more alternative and a lot more rock oriented music. And I mean, I have my own personal hunches as to why that's happening. I can share really quickly, but I don't know if that's interesting. I said it, so I might as well say it. But I think that like the state of the world right now is in such confusion. A lot of people are upset, the divisiveness, all of this stuff, I think leads to more honest, maybe aggressive, like we're looking for outlets on ways to get out these emotions out of our body. And I think that a lot of the music that is being made right now is an outlet for people. And I think people are identifying with this genre of music, but they're also producing this genre of music. And I also think things go in cycles, and the time is kind of right for this kind of music to be coming back out to a forefront, because we were very hip hop rap centric for a while. We were very like, you just kind of think about the different genres that are at the forefront of the music industry. It feels like one of the questions I was going to ask you. No, I'm going to wait to the very end.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
I
going to
have
wait to the
some
very end.
thoughts. Do you think like when we were Young Fest, is partially like to thank for kind of this resurgence?
Yeah, I think when we were young, I think the fact that a lot of the people who went.
Well, because let me just, Tyson Ritter of All American Rejects, I have talked about this interview before. I think he said it a couple times, but
Mhm.
he has very much attributed like their playing at one of the, when we were Young Fest a couple years ago, that experience to motivating them to start like touring and doing all this cool stuff that now we've talked about All American Rejects is doing.
Right.
And like he's very much said that festival made him realize that people love his band. And I don't think that they just didn't have that like recent appreciation for it. So I think that's also had to kind of reinvigorate a lot of these other legacy artists to make new music. I mean, look at what we've seen in the last couple months with like the Starting Line and Yellow Card and all these bands coming out with new music. Like I think when we were Young Fest and then now Warped Tour coming back and these bands being able to like see and feel the love for this type of music has to be part of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think that When We Were Young has a piece of the puzzle, but the puzzle probably has like 7 to 10 pieces. And like one of those pieces is the fact that like a lot of these listeners are now of an age where they're making a good living for themselves and they have disposable income. I think one of the pieces is the fact that we've got these big kind of marker moments of like 20-year anniversary of said album, said tour, said single, said band, whatever it may be. And I also think that like people are craving this type of music again, you know? So I think that's what I mean by like, I don't think it's one, but I think of all the things, like When We Were Young definitely is a piece of like the metaphorical puzzle that I've created in my brain.
Right. Right. Do you want to ask that question now?
No, because I'm going to wait till the very end. I have one, maybe two more questions for you. Okay. Okay. I have the last two questions. No, I have three. Sorry, they're going to be quick though. Okay. What is the one thing you're most proud of in this first year of this podcast?
Do you have an answer? Do you want to start?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do. I think what I'm proud of, although it was crazy that we did 51 episodes in a year, we were 1 week off from a full year, technically, I guess, right? I don't know how that maths, but it maths. Although not every single episode was of like maybe the tip top quality, whether it be audio issues or content or whatever it is, or time zones, the consistency that we had, I'm very proud of that. And the fact that like even in the moments where we were unsure, we still created and did something. And I think that I'm very proud of like the overall picture of all of it. So I think that we've given a lot of time and energy to it. And it's like a really beautiful gift that we're always going to be able to look back on this first year of this together. We've learned a lot of audio things specifically.
We've learned a lot for sure. And I figured that would be your answer because I think that makes the most sense. So ditto to that. And I think learning a lot is a good thing to be proud of.
Yeah.
And just doing it, which is kind of the same sentiment that you shared, even in terms of just like getting it out there. Like we could still be dinking around being like, what do we want to do? Should we do this? Should we do that? Should blah, 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 and just do it. I think that's a lesson for a lot of things in life. Like, just do it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's never going to be like the exact right time. Just do it.
Yeah. Like to build on what you said, like there is no right time or like readiness. Like just go for it and you'll learn as you go. One other thing that came out of it that I'll say is, and I don't know if you feel this way, but I am a lot more comfortable on a mic now than I was a year ago. And that's been a gift because, as you know, one of my many things that I have done that has been giving my time and space to other things is one of the productions that I produced that for the nonprofits. I had to get up on stage and be the MC at the beginning of it. Now, did I black out when I was talking on stage? thanking the different underwriters and sponsors and talking about the performers. I did. I don't exactly remember what I said, but
You did great.
You told me that I delivered well, but like in historically speaking, I might have shaken a little bit or so, and I didn't have any of that. Obviously recording a podcast, we're not
You're
in
not
front
on a stage in front of a crowd. Yeah.
right. We're not in front of hundreds of people right now, but the comfortability of holding a mic, and I know we both go about it in different ways. You normally have a stand, I normally hold the mic. I think that just the muscle memory alone of holding a mic like this has been such a like unexpected gift.
Yeah. Well, good.
Yeah, and I don't know about you because like you're in a courtroom, like you're doing things like that. I feel like you're probably already pretty comfortable on mic, but I don't know.
I mean, it's a whole different setting, right? But it's just a matter of being more comfortable, like presenting anything, you know? And it certainly helps a little bit that way. And this is a conversation. Like this doesn't have
Pressure.
I don't know. I don't feel a lot of pressure with it.
Yeah. Same. Okay. Where do you see the podcast to be a year from now? Like a year from now, what do you see, or maybe like what is one thing that you'd like to do?
I think this is a tough question to answer right now because as we've kind of expressed a couple times, like we're kind of in the middle of rethinking some things and like what does this really look like for us and for the listeners. So I think like practically speaking, it's a tough question to answer. Maybe the better way to answer it for me is in a year we're in a place where we're both comfortable and happy with what we're doing, both schedule wise and what we're putting out.
Interesting. Okay. You went like more logistical speaking. Yeah.
What about you?
For me, I'm going to go more specific in the sense that like I hope we have the opportunity to interview somebody that gives both of us a gift of some sort, like a takeaway. And so I think that we probably will, and this is, obviously we've talked about this already, like there's a lot of things that the two of us are currently working through on like what we want the future to look like for us. But I think one of the things for me, and I think for you as well, is like interviewing people is very interesting for us and for the listeners. And so I hope that we have the ability to interview some very interesting people coming up. And of those interviews, like, I hope that we both get the gift of some sort of epiphany for our personal lives or professional or whatever it may be. Because back to the whole thing of connection, like you just never know what you're going to get when you put a certain set of people in a room together.
Yeah, I think that's a great answer.
Yeah. Okay. What would you say to our listeners who've been with us since episode 1?
Thank you, Jen.
Oh my God, it's so much more than Jen, but Jen, you're special. You get that call out. It's mostly because she listens to every single pod. I just need to give context to this. She listens to every single podcast and live texts us as she's listening to the podcast every single time. So it feels like we're on the journey with her. Like we have the journey together right here, Katie and I, but then we relive it through Jen's eyes live over text.
Yeah, I agree. So no, I thank you is the short answer. Given that we've talked about how we're kind of rethinking some things, like let us know what you like and what you don't like. I think that would be a great thing. Like send us a DM on Instagram and let us know like which episodes you've enjoyed. Do you like our intros? Do you like our outros with email lyrics of the day? Even if you don't like our email lyrics of the day, I think we're going to keep doing that. So because that's a pretty significant part, at least in my mind.
It's because she wins all the time, you guys.
I just love lyrics and I love sharing them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think thank you. And like, I think we'd love some feedback. I think right now is a great time to get some feedback. So if you know us personally, like call us, text us, whatever. If you don't know us personally, send us a DM on Instagram and What do you want to hear more of? What types of episodes do you like? Do you like the album reviews? Do you like concert reviews? Do you like the emo news that we tend to do at the end of the month, which I think we're going to skip this month because it's been a long episode already.
Yeah, true.
Like, what do you enjoy? Let us know, because that'll help in terms of our conversations about what we're doing moving forward.
Yeah, for sure.
What about you?
What I would say to that is essentially the same. It's like, thank you. Thanks for going on this journey with us. It's been I don't know. It's been a wild one that, like, I don't think a year ago, like, we would have written this narrative for ourselves. Like, 1 year ago, Katie, and 1 year ago, Nani probably didn't see this version of the emo. We're number 4 in Poland, Katie. I don't know if you remember that, but like, just thanks for, I don't know, thanks for laughing with us, thanks for crying with us, thanks for discovering music with us, like, and thanks to everybody who's been a part of this podcast, like our guests that we've had or whatever. Oh, I didn't even call out the fact that one of my favorite moments, like, I've had a couple other favorite moments. One, interviewing 220 Kid was epic. I thought he had some great one-liners. And also, like, how cool is it that we had, like, some people on the front lines of, like, our buddy Molter came on and talked to us about the Coldplay incident in Boston, like, there's, like, that stuff just lives with me because it's, I don't know, really cool. It's a lot of gifts we've been given. So hopefully the listeners also can share in some of the gifts that we've, like, felt ourselves.
Yeah, and that's you've said this, and I should have said it just now. Like, we've done some cool interviews and some interesting interviews, and I think both of us enjoy those. But for the listeners, like, is that something that you enjoy too? I would think so, but I mean, I think that's something that both of us would like to do more of. And, let us know if you like that or what type of questions we should ask. Do you want to be on the podcast?
We love feedback. We love it. We love an honest feedback loop. There's not enough of those out in the world.
Yeah.
Okay, so my last question for you, and I have a little outro for us as well, but maybe I'll read the outro at the very, very end after we do Emo Lyric of the Day. But the question I was going to ask is it a phase?
Definitely not. It was never a phase.
Yeah, I truly believe the same thing. And I think you started to touch on it, which is why I was like, do I ask you this question right now? But for the first time in their career, I believe at least, Yellow Card had a #1 single. And
for the first time?
For the first time in their career, they had a #1 single.
With Better Days?
Yes. And
Whoa. Ocean Avenue was never #1?
I can't remember the exact. I really should have written this down exactly and gotten the exact thing, but there are momentous things that are happening in careers right now. Like All American Rejects, they're playing to bigger crowds than they ever have in their entire career. Like this resurgence isn't here for a moment. It's not nostalgia. It's not a phase. Like, to me, this is something that's going to stay and stick. And that's the only qualm that I have of When We Were Young. I think it started as like a nostalgia festival, but I don't think that, like, I hope that the idea of When We Were Young is, like, too nostalgic for me, because now going forward, I wish it was a different title, because it's like, all this music is kind of here to stay. And I think some of the artists are going to take it more seriously than others. Some people have more space and time to devote to their band and music. But I think, like we've talked about, All American Rejects or Yellow Card, or like, I feel like The Maine, and like a lot of these bands are Avril Lavigne, like a lot of these people, they're here and playing bigger shows than ever and doing bigger things than ever.
Yeah.
And the audience is showing up for it.
Yeah, that's wild. Sorry, I had to look up this Yellow Card thing, but I agree with everything you just said. But it is. Yellow Card sets alternative airplay record with first #1 song, Better Days. That's wild.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that was back in August.
Yep.
Right after that single was released.
It's a big deal. Like, if we as consumers and music lovers are showing up in this way, like, it's definitely not a phase. So It's pretty
Definitely
cool.
not a phase.
Definitely not a phase.
We're
Okay.
here to stay.
Okay, so should we get into emo lyric of the day?
Yes.
And I will say we did have like some emo news to share with you guys, but this episode's gone on long enough.
Send
There's
us
a
a
lot of
message. We can tell you.
and the one thing I'll just say is like hopefully Alex from All Time Low.
All Time Low.
Yeah, hopefully his voice heals. That was one of the big ones, is that he lost his voice. And hopefully his voice comes back. So I think it will. It's just with some rest.
Gotta rest.
You just gotta rest that voice. Okay. Do you want me to go first or you want to go first?
I feel like yours might be kind of related to the topic of the day. Okay, mine isn't. So I can go first. I chose a Hot Mulligan lyric because they are a new fave of mine.
Love that.
And they had a record come out like a month or so ago that I've listened to a few times. And just like ultra pop punk, and I love it so much. And the lyric that I chose, they're also known for interesting song titles, sort of like Fall Out Boy, you know, is very known for like their long and interesting song titles that seemingly have like nothing to do with the substance of the song.
Yeah,
So-
shout out Top 8 Kate. She loves Fall Out Boy.
Yeah, so let me just preface that with that because this song title is called And a Big Load
Okay.
by Hot Mulligan off of their new record. The lyric that I chose, though, is pretty emo in my mind.
Mhm.
So the lyric is, nothing good can come of me. Until I'm gone, I'm just a burden.
Oh my God, that's so emo.
So emo. And you wouldn't expect it the way that he sings it. It's like pretty like pop, like heavy rock, like energetic sounding.
Yeah, so like you have no idea that he's saying like really dark, sad lyrics.
Yeah.
Because he's like up in his upper register, like. "Din-din-din-din-din-din."
Yeah.
I mean, I'm obviously paraphrasing here, but that's the power of emo lyric of the day. Is you would never know, you would never get the delivery in the way that it is spoken.
Yeah. And I was just like, man, that's emo and really depressing. I'm going to say it again. And the lyrics leading up to that line, I'm also going to say it's take another minute, maybe take my life.
Oh my God.
Then the lyric that I chose is nothing good can come of me until I'm gone. I'm just a burden.
Okay, well, that's untrue to the lyricist.
To anyone.
To
But
anyone.
People feel that way a lot. So I think it's very relatable.
Yeah.
Hopefully people get through that and realize that's not the case.
Yeah. Especially as we enter into like the darker days of the year. I know that's maybe kind of a weird thing to say, but like seasonal depression is very real. And
Very
so,
real.
yeah, I hope I agree with you. No one should ever feel that way. That is a very emo lyric.
Yes.
I am choosing one from Medium Build.
Okay.
And I have so many options to choose from Medium Build that I don't even know where to go. I originally had a sad one and I just changed it to a not so sad one, but also sad, kind of quietly sad.
Okay.
The line is just like it's like a little punchy, I guess. So it's from his song Stick Around, and it's the artist Medium Build, and it said, if getting fucked up was an airplane, I'd be a double million miler.
I'm glad we closed on this one instead of mine. That's part of why I wanted to go first. Quite the downer. But
I know. And this one could be taken that way too, but I just love the like metaphor and imagery that this lyric gave me, because I think getting fucked up can mean a lot of things to people. Or like fucking up or whatever. Like it can mean a lot of different things, but I just love that, because if getting fucked up was an airplane, I'd be a double million miler. And also the metaphor of like how it relates to all the travel that I've done over the course of this podcast too. It just felt like the right thing.
I wonder how many miles you've flown this year.
Actually, I could probably track it. It would be because, I think we probably talked about this on here. I am a Delta loyalist, and it tends to have its positives. It also has its drawbacks because you're kind of held in a exclusive relationship for the most part. But that exclusive relationship very much has its perks and rewards from time to time. But I don't. It has to be over 100,000 miles, I would guess.
Yeah, I would even think more than that, but I don't have a great concept. I mean,
Yeah,
you went to Mexico 3 times. You went to Italy once. You went to Portugal. That's
Morocco,
a lot of miles.
Japan, Korea. There's a lot of spots in there. There's a lot of places that I don't even completely remember going to, and then a lot of travel within the U.S. too. So, yeah, I just thought I thought that made sense. But so I did write a quick little, this is kind of our official wrap up, if you will, of season 1 of the Emo Hour.
Okay.
And as Katie said, we're going to take a short little break to rest and recharge our little emo batteries that we have inside of us. And like she also said, like, we want the feedback. So message us at the Emo Hour on TikTok or Instagram. I'm always the one that forgets to say that. You're always the one that remembers. I love that. And I don't know.
You also didn't say who won Emo Lyric of the Day.
God, how could I forget? See, it takes 2 to tango, baby. Who wins? You know what? On an episode like today, we both win.
Okay.
I think we both, on an episode like today, I think we both win.
Okay, that's nice. Which song should I play after you read the outro? How about that? Mine or yours?
I think we should play yours because we need to hear, and I don't know if I'm using this word right, the dichotomy of or the juxtaposition of the lyrics against the actual music. Because you said it was like upper, like the lyrics are downer, but the music sounds like it's more of an upper.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay, I'll get that queued up while you...
I'll kind of read the sentiment of our little outro, but yes, we want the feedback and we want to know what you want to hear. And like I said, we're going to recharge and stay tuned to our social media. We'll be announcing when we'll be coming back for season 2. And obviously we'll come back with, I don't know, a bunch of chaos, probably some interviews and a few surprises. I don't know, Katie, what do you think? Stay emo?
Stay emo.
It was never a phase.
It was never a phase.
Any closing words that you want to?
That was it?
Yeah, it wasn't anything crazy. It just was.
I thought you had like a paragraph that you were going to read.
No. Just general sentiment of we're going to recharge our little emo batteries and figure out what season 2 is going to look like, and we're going to take a little bit of time, and we'll be back better than ever.
Sounds good. Yeah, thanks for joining. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the Emo Hour. We've been a little quiet on there, but once life calms down, if it ever does, maybe we've got some clips we can post from older episodes, and we'll be, just follow us on there. We'll be in touch.
We'll be in touch. What does hot mulligan mean? Yeah, never. I would have never caught that. That was a good emo lyric of the day.
Oh, I love Hot Mulligan. They're so good.
My God. Okay, well, happy hump day, and we'll see you very soon.
Peace.
Peace.